The Lakers start a stretch of must-win games Tuesday night against Orlando, but can they build enough chemistry to actually take advantage of their schedule? That's next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making Locked On Lakers first listen of every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on weekends and even on holidays, and now more than once a day, no matter where you get your podcasts. That's Spotify, that's Apple. Maybe you're one of the 37,000 plus subscribers to the Locked On Lakers on YouTube. No matter how you're doing it, you're part of making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network anywhere you're going to find on any planet or universe or galaxy. I'm Brian Kamenetzky with Andy Kamenetzky. Covered the Lakers for nearly 20 years with ESPN, the LA Times, with The Athletic. Andy, the Lakers are entering a very critical stretch of schedule here because the games, certainly over the next 5, and even a few beyond that, if you're looking at the whole picture here, are extremely winnable. And given their challenges against some of the better teams in the league, they simply cannot afford to give away games or lose games against lesser teams if they would like to be in a position to take advantage of playing well at the end of the year.
And just to avoid the play-in altogether, 3 through 6, 3 through 7 or 8 is potentially going to be very, very tightly bunched, as it often is down the stretch in the Western Conference. And the Lakers have done a really good job this year for all of their inconsistencies, for all of their flaws. They've done a good job this year beating the teams that they should. You can have concerns about their ability to beat the harder teams, but the teams that they are supposed to beat, they generally have. The slate begins with a home game against the Magic. No Franz Wagner, maybe no Jalen Suggs. He's dealing with a back injury. Either way, Orlando has been disappointing all season. They're below 500 on the road. Then you got the Suns with no Devin Booker, no Dylan Brooks, no Jordan Goodwin, maybe no coveted Haywood Highsmith, possibly no Grayson Allen. Then the Warriors with no Steph, no Jimmy Butler, Porzingis and Draymond Green, unclear. Sacramento, no anybody who matters. The Pelicans, who might have, it's kind of easy to forget, DeJounte Murray's been on the team. He may be back by then. I don't know if he'll be on any type of restrictions.
He's supposed to start playing Tuesday night. So,
right.
I mean, he presumably would be available for that game next week. But even with that,
Sure.
It's not a good team in New Orleans.
No, not good at all. Then you got Denver. That's obviously tough. And then the tanking Pacers. The Lakers, in my opinion, need to go 6-1 at this stretch at worst. Like, maybe there's a context you can talk me into where 5-2 becomes acceptable, but I see 6-1 as both reasonable, practical, and we cannot afford to F around with this. Like, if they manage to pull off 7-0, awesome. But to my original point, they cannot afford to boot winnable games while jockeying for these spots. And other than Denver, all of these games are imminently winnable. They have to win these games.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I think 5-2, you look at Phoenix, Orlando, Denver, those are the 3 most competent teams on there. You get 2 of those are on the road. Orlando's at home. You need to win 5.
Phoenix is a zombie squad. I don't consider this version.
I'm just, I agree with you. And then they're, it's especially important because that is the team that you are trying to keep in that 7 spot. The Lakers are 2 games as play starts on Tuesday. The Lakers will be 2 games ahead of the Suns. The Lakers tied for 5th right now. The Suns are in 7th. The Warriors are in 8th, but there's a pretty good gap between Golden State and the Lakers. Don't have to worry about that quite yet. But like that Phoenix game's a big one. Yeah. And it was fun. I was just kind of looking on socials and stuff this afternoon, and I saw a tweet. He made the point that if they don't fix themselves during this 5-game stretch, He's just talking about the game before Denver and Indiana. It's just not going to happen. 3 games against injured and struggling teams, then 2 against some bums. And I agree with a lot of the evaluations of the players, but the part about this that I think is really important is like, there's not a fix here. This isn't a question of, to me at least, like, can you fix this team? Can they find, like, they better fix it implies that there's like a thing that they can find and, click into that will suddenly make them the sort of best version of themselves that we've all kind of been hoping to see over the course of the year. This is a stretch, and they talked about it a little bit at practice on Monday. Like, this is like a process. They've got like 26 games or whatever it is to figure out how they can get to an end point. They need to win these games, because if they don't, reaching that end point may not matter very much. Like, if you want to make that endpoint have value, you got to have enough wins piled up that you still have an opportunity to be a 3, a 4, a 5, certainly avoiding that play-in or having to really sweat being in the play-in.
Yeah, LeBron said after the Celtics loss, talking about where the team is right now and the chemistry, in particular between him and Luka and Austin not being there. And he said, quote, "I don't think we're there right now. I think we've got some games, but obviously it's a sprint now, but we've got to figure it out. And it's not just me, AR, and Luka. Obviously, we got the ball in their hands majority of the time. We got to make sure to keep the other guys in tune and in the flow. So the offense is 5 guys, not just 3 or 2 or 1. Whoever's on the floor, it's got to be 5 guys being able to play off each other. And maybe when we get back, we can get into a little bit of specifics or thoughts about those sentiments from LeBron in terms of some of the things that we are seeing and some of the things that, if nothing else, you are correct. You are not going to instantly fix everything over 3, 4, 5 games, but you can start making tangible steps towards progress and moving in the right direction. So hopefully by 5 games left in the season, 4 games left in the season, it really does feel like you are consistently playing your best ball. So we can get into that coming up next. But first, Locked on Lakers is brought to you by Indeed. You got workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and one position that you got to fill. It's still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate magically stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute that I'll be talking with you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Spend less time searching, more time actually interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listen to this show, you'll get a $75 sponsored job credit to help you get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now. Support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Locked on Lakers also brought to you by FanDuel. If you've ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person, FanDuel is giving you the chance to do just that. You can turn that dream into a reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right, flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at that board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is a perfect time to lock it in. So visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future. Get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. They're right, Andy. Like, to a man, this is sort of the attitude that the Lakers have. Luka Doncic, I think you see we're not there yet. We're working on it, but there should be big potential about the 3 of us, him, Austin, LeBron playing together. You read LeBron's quote. I don't think we're there right now. I think we've got some games, but obviously it's a sprint right now. We've got to figure it out. And it's not just me, AR, and Luka. And, it's a whole team thing. You go to Marcus Smart, we're good. The talent is there. We've got the pieces. It's just making them mesh. We definitely have some work to do. Everybody knows that, but we're hanging in there. The question just becomes, can you, against these, particularly against teams that allow you a little flexibility to do things, you can improve on things against the Pacers in ways that you probably can't against the Celtics. You can, the Magic, like you mentioned, are not a great road team. They're missing some guys. The Warriors are going to be missing players. Like, this affords you the opportunity to get real reps and get better at stuff and start to make those improvements. If you can find the right balance of things and remember to do certain things. Like, what are you looking for?
There are two things that jumped out, both from the post-game comments and then some of what was said during Monday's practice in El Segundo. The idea that the ball isn't moving enough. And when they lose games, it is often a byproduct of the ball not moving enough, or when the offense specifically is not working well in losses or even wins where they don't look so hot. It is often the byproduct of the ball not moving enough. And that really is something that Luka, LeBron, and Austin have to address the most, because they're the ones who have the ball the most. And I looked up some splits for passes in wins versus losses. In wins, Luka is averaging 55.1 passes per game, generating 9.2 assists per game, and in particular, 3-point shooting off his passes at almost 39%. LeBron in wins, 49.8 passes, almost 8 assists per game, and 39% 3-point shooting. Austin, 52.1 passes per game, 6.3 assists, a little under 35% for 3-point shooting. In losses, Luka's passes go down from 55 to 51. LeBron's go down from a little under 50 to a little under 43. Austin's go down by almost 10. And by one would say definition or logical reason, their assist numbers all go down. And also, too, the 3-point percentages go down, I think in part because the ball isn't moving enough, and it makes it easier for defenses to key on what they're doing. It makes it harder to get the cleaner looks that you want for these outside shooters. Also, the outside shooters are often not in any type of rhythm because the ball isn't moving. And
ball isn't moving. They're not moving.
Right,
Nothing's
exactly.
moving.
And you can see that, again, there's context in all of these numbers. You could go through each game and find specific
but they are what they are.
They are what they are.
The Boston game, for example, I think was their lowest number of passes this season, or damn close to it.
Right. It's very stark, those differences in the amount of passes for those three guys on average between wins and losses. I don't think that it's a coincidence that those are often the times when the offense falls apart, because the offense at that point just starts becoming more predictable. Like when any of those three have the ball in their hands a lot, looking to create ISO, I'm not going to say it's easy to stop because you're talking about three talented offensive players, but it becomes much more predictable. And predictable is helpful for a defense.
It's both. I think it is easier to stop. I mean, it's we spent Tuesday's show talking a lot about like what physical defenders can do with Reeves. Like, that helps when it's sort of an ISO game. When there's less movement, fewer eyes, the rotations are tighter, the switches are more aggressive, whatever it might be. All of that plays kind of against Austin, and they need to figure out what's the balance with the big three, because they do tend still to struggle with all three of them on the floor at the same time. Who is, can DeAndre Ayton provide you with enough defense while still figuring out how to get you they need him to find a little bit more of his offense.
Well, JJ mentioned too, and this is directly related to passes, the need to get him the ball more. Like, there's stuff that DeAndre has to be proactive on, as far as getting to spots quicker, like, getting to spots more forcefully, stuff like that. But also just he needs to get actually the ball to him. He cannot get himself the ball.
Yes.
And that is often a problem in games where it doesn't feel like DeAndre's doing much. He often isn't given as much to do.
Well, one of the tricky things, and I know Rui talked a little bit about this at Monday's practice as well. It's like now that everybody's back, everybody gets slotted into theoretically what their roles ought to be. Like, Ayton would have been doing different stuff in that incredible November that he had. Might have looked a little different if the Lakers had all of their players at that time. And so, like, everybody's finally, Rui is not as good off the bench as he is as a starter. He makes way more sense on this team coming off the bench.
Sure.
But he is, much more effective, I think, on a night-to-night basis as a starter than he is as a reserve. That doesn't mean I think they should start him. It just means he's got to figure out how to be as useful as possible as a reserve. Like, they need to the balance of where Luke Kennard fits in is still something they're working on. But fundamentally, it's like, what are the combinations that you use at different times? How much can you use the big three together? Who are the two other players, and what situations are there that can tweak that just to turn the dial enough to make those minutes a little bit more productive? Because, frankly, AR and, they do better when they're two of the three. LeBron is dragging down some of the numbers for all the combinations, but generally speaking, certainly two of the three is better than all three of them together. There's a lot of reorganizing that you just don't want to have to be doing in February, but that's where they are. Like, there's no way around it. And it's a challenge for JJ Redick and the coaching staff, because you need to be able to find stuff quickly, experiment a little bit, but also give players reps and looks that are consistent enough that they can use these last 20 games or something to get better with at least some knowledge of what's coming. So, like, I don't think they have time. Tell me if you disagree. I don't think they have time to find, like, the ideal rotations, the ideal combinations. They're gonna have to just sort of find stuff that they feel like it kind of works, and let it go. We'll see if they can get this thing off to a good start with a victory over the limping Orlando Magic Tuesday night at the Crypt. Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you're going to hang out with over 37,000 subscribers. We'll see everyone after the game.